What was your immediate first reaction when you came to know that Hrithik Roshan is going to be playing Anand Kumar?
It's a huge honor for us to have him in the movie. He's a spectacular actor and he has brought the character of Anand Kumar awesome way to the screen.
Did you feel that maybe he's the right fit?
I think Hrithik Roshan has come extremely close or near par with Anand Kumar in his teaching abilities, especially in the movie.
How did you respond to the cinematic liberties that the makers took in terms of the love story and all those aspects?
Yeah, I left those decisions to the makers because as you know, I'm an academician and I'm a psychiatrist, so I'm very far detached from the movie making. But I think that they got a good combination in the movie.
Did you also find it fascinating during your interactions that suddenly he gets this call from German organization, for example, or maybe the best of organizations and institutions and governments in the world?
It's very fascinating, but I think it deserves more.
You think he deserves more?
Yeah.
Are there any plans of writing a sequel to his journey?
We have been talking about it periodically, but I need to be back in India and meet with the key players and come up with a theme. And it has to be real. It just cannot be imagined or artificial.
It's a huge honor and privilege to have Mr. Biju Mathew here with me in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. And Biju ji is a very, very celebrated academician, a psychiatrist, and a very, very respected figure here in British Columbia and Canada. And at the same time, he's very well known for the book that he has written, Super 30, One Student at a Time, on the life of Mr. Anand Kumar, the world-renowned mathematician. It's a pleasure having you with me, and thank you very much for your time. So my first question to you is, what was your immediate first reaction when you came to know that Hrithik Roshan is going to be playing Anand Kumar in the screen version of your book?
Thank you, Faridoon, for that kind introduction. Well, it's a huge honor for us to have him in the movie. He's a spectacular actor and he has brought the character of Anand Kumar in a awesome way to the screen, and he was able to connect with the audience very well.
All right. And when you see him solving those complex medical equations, did you feel that maybe he's the right fit because he's someone who's known to be a perfectionist? He does his homework very, very keenly, and he goes into the depth of what he's catering to, because not everyone can play Anand Kumar the way Hrithik did, especially that aspect of being a mathematician.
Yeah. Thank you for that wonderful question. I watched Anand Kumar the way he taught in his classes at Super 30 as well as in Ramanujam School. I think Hrithik Roshan has come extremely close or near par with Anand Kumar in his teaching abilities, especially in the movie. And I was quite excited by the fact that the other actors did respond to his questions very well, and they relived the experience of Anand Kumar in Super 30.
All right. And were you a bit surprised with the commercial success of the film? It did exceedingly well at the box office.
I know there was some rumor that it's going to be a documentary. It was far from it. It was very entertaining, but also educational. And I think it served a purpose to the population of India, especially the students, and also the people in Maple Ridge or in Canada for that matter. Yeah, they all enjoyed the movie very much, yeah. For its educational content and also for the entertainment part of the movie.
Okay, and how did you respond to the cinematic liberties that the makers took in terms of the love story and all those aspects?
Yeah, I left those decisions to the makers because as you know, I'm an academician and I'm a psychiatrist, so I'm very far detached from the movie making. But I think that they got a good combination in the movie.
Now, sir, when you look at the track record that Mr. Anand Kumar is having, for 3 successive years, 30 out of 30 students from his school, they got admissions in IIT. Um, on other occasions, 28 out of 30, maybe 26 out of 30, and the ones who were not selected in IIT, they were selected in prestigious institutions apart from them. How do you look at this phenomenal track record? Do you find it truly fascinating? Does it have any parallels anywhere in the world?
I don't think so. That's one of the reasons why I took up this project, because I've seen some wonderful teachers uh, through my professional career, but there are not many people who match the success of Anand Kumar. He leads by example. I've seen him working from his home, and the time that he has spent with his children, with his students. And I've also talked to his mentors and teachers, his friends, over a period of 3.5 years while writing the book. So that's the impression that I got, that he was keen, he was determined, and he told them a story of success through hard work.
Success through hard work. And did you also find it fascinating during your interactions that suddenly he gets this call from a German organization, for example, or maybe the best of organizations and institutions and governments in the world? Did you find it fascinating?
Um, no, it's very fascinating, but I think it deserves more.
You think he deserves more?
Yeah.
And so, what about the controversies? Say, with regards to the allegations that certain students they had levied against Mr. Kumar. With your research, objectively, how do you look at it? Because you are someone who's an extremely honest and ethical person, and will never support anything which is lacking credibility in any way.
Yeah, I saw some of the articles, and also whilst in Bihar, I saw some people criticizing him. But I think it's unfair. But you know what happens is, with success, sometimes controversies do arise, and that's the way life is. You know, I yet to see a public person or who is very famous not having any controversies in their lives, or people drum up controversies.
People drum up controversies. All right. And Super 30, it was screened in Maple Ridge. Um, it was a houseful show. How important was it for you in your own community, your creative work getting this sort of applause? How important was it for you?
It is very important. You know, it was screened at the Act Theatre locally, and I think that was the only Hindi movie that is ever projected in that theatre ever. It was a packed house, and majority of the people from our local communities enjoyed the movie so immensely, and they're still talking about the movie.
They're still talking about the movie. All right. Okay, and so how are your interactions with Sanjeev Datta, the screenplay writer of the film? How did you interact with him? Did he
I,
take any inputs from you?
yeah, we did discuss. I met with him on 2 occasions, and so he had my book. And as I say, you know, I'm not a screenplay writer, so I left those decisions to him and the movie makers. But I think while making a movie, they have got to make certain decisions, and I thought they did a balanced job.
But anyone, sir, who has read the book would understand that the book is much different from the film. The way you have taken the testimonials of certain students and just garnished the whole thing is truly spectacular. How did you select the students who are the students that you want to take the testimonials from?
Yeah, as I say, I've not interviewed all the students from Super 30. I think they were picked according to the merits of the story, and I think they did a fantastic job. And it's well described in those chapters where they have covered their own stories.
All right, now someone who's not from Bollywood, who doesn't watch Hindi films per se, what I personally find very interesting is that you've written the book in a very emotional manner. You know, it just incites those emotional reactions from the readers. The way you have highlighted the role of the mother, for that matter, and the brother, for example. I'm just giving a couple of examples. And the way, the sort of resistance Anand Kumar has met, he's got two security guards from the government. Where did that emotional element stem from? Considering you're away from this entire world.
Yeah, as I told initially that I'm going to be talking to people who are very closely associated with him, and I spent a few days with his mother and his brother at their home. At least 2 weeks in their surroundings, and I saw the commitment that his mother and his brother and his families have put forward to bring these Super 30 students for successive years over a period of time. So that's the amazing story. It is not just a one individual story, it's the success story of a family and their contributions.
Success story of the family. Okay, and so we have discussed in the past that there can be a sequel to the whole thing, and even Anand Kumar is keen on it. So, are there any plans of writing a sequel to his journey?
I think we have been talking about it periodically, but I need to be back in India and meet with the key players and come up with a theme. And it has to be real. It cannot be imagined or artificial. It has to stem from the heart and from the truth.
Stem from the heart and the truth. Okay, and sir, as I asked you the other day, you are this very very celebrated psychiatrist, and you chose the profession out of your own free will because in a way you wanted to help people, and you've been helping people in multiple ways. How did you just try to understand the psyche of Anand Kumar from a psychiatrist's point of view, and what role does empathy play in that?
He's a very kind-hearted man, and he knew the importance of hard work and success. But for as fate would have it, he was deprived of the chance when he could not go to Cambridge, and then the abrupt departure of his father through heart attack. That is the saddest part. But then he tried to channel that burning desire into his students to make them a success story.
Okay, and but what about, sir, your understanding of his psyche? Like how important was it for you to understand his mind space to write the whole thing, and that empathy factor? How important is empathy for you as a psychiatrist?
See, I found that he's a very gifted teacher. There's no question about that. He's very knowledgeable, but I was touched by his determination, empathy, and the feelings for the poor and the downtrodden. I think I've written a lot about him, but I've also known some stories that's not been written in the book, which are equally compelling.
Which are equally compelling. Okay. All right, and so do you also feel that fate had decided that you will be writing this book with all the work that you have been doing, because you have been doing I think amazing work for the homeless. Say in DC, for example, you have been associated with helping the Indian community, for example, that has been stigmatized in a way over here, with the entire drugs culture and violence culture and all those things as well. So do you feel that in a way fate had been preparing you for writing this story, telling this story?
Yeah, see, we organize a gala annually for about 13, 14 years, and we mostly touched upon people falling through the cracks, people with homelessness, drug addiction, battered women, the older folks, where society is priorities are less important to this population.
Right.
So we have raised significant amount of monies for their causes, and also for children, for mental health issues for children. We have raised and created a foundry in Maple Ridge. So these were all very compelling reasons. But one year, that is in 2011, I thought of bringing someone from India who is well known, and And that's the time when I stumbled upon an article of Anand Kumar in the Globe and Mail, and then he came here and rest is history. And we have a movie and all the rest. But I must tell that other works like Foundry, homelessness, addictions, these are all very important aspects, and I'm still committed to those causes on a continual basis.
That's a wonderful thing. What you said about the homelessness, homeless people, and as you were telling me the other day that this element of kindness that has come from in you has come from your mother.
That's correct, yes.
Tell us something about her.
See, my mom was a very selfless person. You know, we come from a middle class background, and when I grew up, you know, we had a lot of people who were in poverty and things like that. And she was very kind. She would give her own food to these people and help them with monies, finances, even clothing, shelter frequently. So I think that is something to do with my upbringing and my thought process and what I do right now.
All right, sir, and you are associate professor at UBC, I believe.
Clinical professor.
Clinical professor at UBC as well. Prestigious university. Tell us how does that contribute to your journey as a writer? You're a celebrated writer all across the world.
Well, see, UBC is it's a different kettle of fish. They are focused on providing high quality education to the students that they cater. And I'm very privileged and honored to be a part of their faculty. And our Department of Psychiatry is one of the best in Canada. And I'm very privileged to be working with a group of professionals who contribute on a daily basis, hour by hour, for the betterment of mental health people in our province or across the world.
All across the world. All right, sir. And so what next? Are you writing another book? Are you searching for more ideas? Because people keep on asking you, I believe, that what next after Super 10?
I know there is always this talk about what next. I've got a couple of projects which is very close to my heart,
Right.
and as people know that I'm very secretive in this kind of discussions. My policy is to talk less and do more, including writing.
Including writing. Okay, and so I believe you've given a lot of credit to your wife, Miss Grace, as well, for who has I think made tons and tons of coffee and tea for you while you were writing this book. So tell us something about Grace, ma'am, and how did you meet her, and what is her role in your life?
Oh, she's an important pillar in my life. You know, she's as I say, her whole work is committed to taking care of me and my interests, and also that of my children's interest. And so she has been there all through my life. You know, we have been married for about 44 years now, and not a day has gone by when she doesn't prepare tea for me every day morning and address my needs on a consistent basis. And she's also extremely close to me.
She's extremely close to you as well. Okay, and sir, you came to Canada 40 years back, more than 40 years back. You are from Kerala. How much is your personality influenced by the state in India that you are from? Because it is called God's own country. It's a beautiful state. At the same time, it's a 100% literate state as well, and state filled with intellectuals. How has that shaped up your journey of excellence?
Yeah, see, I'm very fortunate to have born and initially brought up in Kerala. Then I moved to Bangalore. But there is something about Kerala, about its natural beauty. It's called as God's own country. I would say that where I live, Maple Ridge is probably the best place in the world. And Kerala comes next.
Kerala comes next. And what about the culture? What about the entire emphasis on intelligence and learning and education?
Yeah, as I say, you know, see, Kerala is probably, I think it's got 100% literacy rate right now. And it was that way even when I was in Kerala. You know, in our district it was 100% in 1970s. But people are very, they got a communal sense. There's no interracial or interreligious conflicts in Kerala. It's probably one of the few states in India right now.
Which is like that, and that is you feel that is the reason, one of the reasons for its success as far as intelligence is concerned. All right, so VDT, thank you very much for your time. It has been an honor and pleasure interacting with you here in BC, and a huge learning experience for me. Thank you for your time, and looking forward to your next book and all your future ventures. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much for having me today on your show.
Thank you, sir.